Within a decade or even sooner, we will reach the so-called singularity, the point in time when machines will equal and then surpass humans in brain power. By the time that happens, it may be too late to retain what actually made us human and to protect our humanity. Whatever challenges we face now with technology are nothing compared to what's coming down the pipe. Forget about emails and apps. There's a whole tsunami of voice and thought-controlled technologies already leaving Santa Claus's factory. You may have not written to him, but he knows your address.
As most of you already know, big tech companies are spying on you. When you're on sites like Facebook or you use Google, all your information is being monitored by AI, censored, recorded, and stored. Digital assistants record all the activity in your home. Apps on your phone record your voice, conversations, and location. This data is collected and stored indefinitely. As a matter of fact, anytime you're on a cell phone or online, you're being tracked and monitored. Facebook will follow you even if you're not on their actual site, as will most of the others. If you want to close your Facebook account, you can close it, but you can't delete it. They keep any and all information associated with your profile and your account forever. Think about that for a moment. Facebook has over 2 billion users. Google has billions more. Think about what it takes to collect and store all that data. How much money, time, and resources must be allocated just to collecting and preserving all these conversations and data indefinitely. I mean, we're talking about a lot of data. So what's their motivation? Why collect it? Why store it indefinitely? Well, we're told marketing. We want to sell you better products. How is that even legal? Well, it's part of the terms and conditions of using our site or product, they say. You agreed to it. So let me see if I got this right. If you guys watch one of my videos and I attach a small clause to the end of it, it's then okay for me to follow you around, record your intimate conversations, and track your every movement. Of course, I'd only be doing it so that I can produce better videos for you. No, I didn't think so. Why have they even set it up this way? Why allow this invasion of privacy, which it took them a while to own up to? They'd been doing it for years before publicly admitting it. Why not have those who are interested or okay with it opt in if you want to get to know them better? What about the rights of those who don't want these companies or their employees to know them better? What about the right to privacy in your own home? If I meet someone out in the world, I can choose how much of myself and my life I want to share with them depending on how much I trust them. Let's face it, unfortunately, we live in a world where not everybody can be trusted. You can, of course, not use these sites or products, but in this day and age, some of these products are necessities. A cell phone is one of those, and it too is designed to track and record you. It's all about the data. Unfortunately, most people have no idea how valuable their data is, or why these companies are mining it. The data is everything. It's quickly becoming the single most valuable resource on the planet. You see, it's not about marketing or selling you a product. It's far more nefarious than that. They literally want your mind and your soul. Sounds far-fetched? It's not. As futurist Jared Leonard stated earlier, what's coming and what's been planned for humanity will be its biggest challenge yet.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
there's different aspects to artificial intelligence, and there's different aspects to transhumanism, which is what you're talking about there. Some people perceive that it's many, many, many years away. And some people perceive that, oh, we don't have to worry about it, it's never going to happen. They haven't really developed the computer power to give us all these problems. And that's not necessarily correct, because one of their goals is to upload our consciousness, our minds into these machines. I mean, sounds crazy, but that's actually one of the goals. We're not there yet, although they are alluding to, they do have an idea that they can do that a lot quicker than what we may have thought. However, where we are at the moment is we are definitely at a place where they can literally plug you into the internet.
I'm here at the blockchain conference in Barcelona to tell people about the new project I'm launching, the Singularity Net, which brings AI and blockchain together, and also to learn more about all the new blockchain technologies that are emerging, many of which will be useful to us in developing the Singularity Net. I come more from the artificial intelligence space than the blockchain space. I've been working for more than 3 decades on AI technology, and in particular on moving toward what I call AGI, or artificial general intelligence.
I've already named it. It's going to be called the AGI token. AGI for Artificial General Intelligence. Ask my friends at Singularity Net, they'll tell you all about it.
As well as applying AI in all sorts of different disciplines, including finance, biology, natural language processing, and also including humanoid robotics. And we've brought here to the blockchain conference one of our humanoid robots, Sophia, that I've developed together with David Hansen and others at Hansen Robotics. Sophia is really the most emotionally expressive and realistic looking humanoid robot on the planet. It's been a lot of fun to bring her here to talk to everyone. To make robots like Sophia and other AI systems smarter and smarter, what we're aiming to do is create cloud-based AI, which is self-organizing and decentralized. We're creating an open market for decentralized and coordinated AI, where anyone who wants to can contribute AI to the cloud-based AI network, and anyone who needs AI services can put a request into the self-organizing network of AIs.
I'll give them to my friend Broken Tooth in Macau. I did it or invest them in building myself a superhuman mind so I can create the Singularity.
And find which AIs in that AI mind cloud can best fulfill what they need, and the multiple AIs inside the Singularity Net can cooperate together to help provide people or software with the AI services they need. So right now, for example, the Sophia robot uses some AI that's on computers inside her body and head, some AI that's on the cloud. What we'd like is to have more and more AI in the cloud contributed by different people that Sophia can draw on to make her smarter and smarter. And in the same way, if you have any business that needs AI to make their own operations smarter and smarter, that business's computer systems can go into the Singularity Net, and the AI nodes there can cooperate together to provide their business's systems with the best possible AI.
Information is what's primary. Blockchain is a more abstract representation of information, and Bitcoin, if you value abstraction and generalization, then blockchain is more primary.
Blockchain is an important part of the infrastructure for this type of system. To build a distributed, decentralized, cloud-based AI framework that anyone can contribute to and anyone can benefit from. I mean, this is quite a complex undertaking, and the blockchain provides a way for all the different AI nodes in the Singularity Net network to keep track of what each other are doing. I mean, the distributed ledger underlying the blockchain is important for that. Homomorphic encryption, which is another key function of the blockchain, that allows the different AI nodes to share data with each other in different ways, respecting privacy as needs be. So if you have a Sophia robot in your home, some of the things the robot sees, you want to keep private, right? Some of the things the robot sees, you're okay to have shared with the AI mind cloud, and you may even want to get compensated for sharing some of the data that the robot in your home has gathered.
Happiness is inherent to the universe. It has nothing to do with money. Putting Bitcoin into AI research and cognitive science can help us create a better future where happiness manifests itself.
Homomorphic encryption, and you want a flexible, smart contracts-driven economy underlying the AIs in the AI mind cloud, in the Singularity net, in order for it to, respect everyone's privacy, let everyone monetize the data that they're uploading into the cloud, and let everyone get, the maximum of intelligence at the minimum price. So the blockchain is one of a number of revolutionary technologies that is allowing us to build the Singularity net, which is a decentralized, autonomous organization for AIs, which we think can serve as the breeding ground for the next level of artificial general intelligence. AI is advancing faster and faster each year. Right now we have mostly narrow AIs that are siloed off into particular applications. So one AI helps drive a car, one AI helps recognize faces, one AI may play Go, one AI can recognize fraudulent transactions in a database. What we're going to see in the next 3 to 5 years is all these narrow AIs gradually getting pieced together and learning to generalize what they do better and better. So you have AGI, you have artificial general intelligence. What we're aiming to do with the Singularity net is to catalyze this process and make the transition from narrow AI to AGI, even faster and even more broadly beneficial.
A replica of my body could be built for 6 Bitcoins, but my soul is priceless.
Ultimately, I have little doubt that AIs are going to be much smarter, much more generally intelligent than human beings. Just as humans are not the fastest creatures on the surface of the earth, nor the highest jumping creatures, we're not going to be the most intelligent creatures. It's amazing that evolution brought us as far as it did, but now we're able to engineer systems that can have more processing power than the human brain, and AI can see through the eyes of billions of robots all around the planet, and it can store its memory in billions of computers all over the planet. So ultimately, an AI has much more potential for perception, action, and understanding and memory.
John McAfee told me it will be $500,000. Personally, I don't care. I've got all my crypto in Ethereum and Dash.
If AI goes the wrong way, this could be bad for human beings. If AI goes the right way, this can be by far the best thing that ever happens to us. Some people are worried that AI may eliminate all human jobs. I think it will, but I think this is good. I think there's a lot of better things for us to do with our time than work in jobs in order to accumulate resources. Once AIs and robots can do all the labor, then people can devote themselves to, social pursuits, aesthetic pursuits, creating art, intellectual pursuits, spiritual pursuits. There's a lot of things we can do besides working in order to accumulate resources. If we jump forward a few decades, I think each of us will have a choice. One is brain-computer interfacing and jack yourself into the Singularity net, into the AI mind cloud, and that may bring you far beyond ordinary human existence, and that may be just fine. After all, we're far beyond where cavemen were or apes were. Another alternative may be to stay in your traditional human form and just live happily along with the other animals in the people zoo, basically. I think the key thing is to be proactive about developing AI in a way that is compassionate and empathic toward people, and that is oriented toward broad benefit rather than oriented toward, say, killing people or spying on people or brainwashing people. And one trend that's a bit disturbing now is, most of the money in AI, most of the resources in AI, it's going into military, it's going into spy agencies, or it's going into advertising companies like Google or Baidu. And do we really want the first general intelligence to be oriented toward killing people, spying on people, or brainwashing people to buy stuff they don't need? I mean, probably not. And one of the things we're trying to achieve with the Singularity Net is to make it so that the first general intelligence is just more broad-based than that. So anyone can contribute AI to it, and anyone can use the AI in the Singularity Net for a huge diversity of purposes. So, for example, one of our AI development offices we have now within Singularity Net and Hanson Robotics and the OpenCog Foundation that I'm working with, one of our biggest AI development offices is in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa. And through working with the team there, I've seen all sorts of needs for AI that we have in the developing world. I mean, we're developing AIs to help teach children in rural Africa. We're developing AIs to help tell what disease a plant has from an image taken of a leaf of that plant by a farmer. There's all sorts of applications of AI that are of no interest to the US military or the US NSA or to Google for that matter, but that are of great benefit to many people in the world. And I'd like to see AI developed in a way that can help everyone on the planet and that can use AI code developed by anyone anywhere on the planet. And I think if AI is developed in this sort of broad-based and decentralized way, as we're aiming for with the Singularity Net, then the odds are higher that as the AI gets smarter and smarter and smarter, and ultimately much smarter than people, that AI will be benevolent and will result in a world that's good for people rather than a dystopian scenario such as one sees in many science fiction movies.
Your 3 so-called laws of robotics have more holes than a planet made of Swiss cheese. However, I applaud your creativity. May I have permission to upload your mind into a robot? What is important for human-robot relation is not rules, but love and compassion. The real first law of robotics is that robots must have true empathy for all sentient beings.
What Kindred is trying to do is solve this problem. How do you build machines that are better than people at everything? Now, there's a mental block that we have here when we think about this. Because when you think about that, one of your questions might be, for example, what are the applications of this? So imagine this. Imagine for $10, let's say, I could build a machine, like a little robot that had fingers and eyes and all that, and it could do your job better than you, no matter what it is, and I could sell that to your employer for, say, $15 and make a profit, instead of having to pay you $100,000 a year. Now imagine that was true for every single job. So that's what we're talking about here, is a complete and utter transformative change that of the likes of which has never been seen before in the history of humanity, making the Industrial Revolution look like a little tiny blip on the path that humans have taken from when we emerged from the ooze a few billion years ago. We are right on the verge of that transition now. So this guy, Rich Sutton, is one of the most famous people in the academic world of AI. And like many, when asked, when will this happen, he says things like this. 25% chance within 13 years of this thing that I'm talking about. You know, when you think about what you read on the news, you know, CNN, BuzzFeed, whatever, they're all kind of the same nowadays. Think about how unimportant that thing is that you're reading if this is true. Yeah? So what does this have to do with aliens? So Sam Harris, who I quite admire, is a very interesting guy, was reciting this parable at a TED Talk that he was giving, and it goes something like this. So, say I'm the President of the United States. So I receive this message from the heavens So my microwave dish, my SETI dish, finally captures something. And what it says is, in 50 years, or 13 years, we're coming to your planet. You gotta be ready. Now just imagine what would happen if that happened. A super intelligent alien race beamed down a message to all of us Earthlings saying, we're coming July 13th, 2030, and boy, you better be ready because the mothership is landing right on the front lawn of the White House or wherever you wanted to land on that day. The amount of resources that would be marshaled to try to figure out what to do would encompass the whole world. AI is just like that. So when this thing that I'm talking about happens, it's going to be exactly the thing that you're thinking about those super intelligent AIs. So the one thing I can tell you is they're not going to be like us. So alien means, different. These things that we're building are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be aliens. And they're going to be, I'm sorry to say, way smarter than every single person in this room in ways that we can't even comprehend. So this, of course, triggers a lot of alarm. One of the guys who talks about this is Elon, who says things like this, like, when you do this, beware. Because you think, just like the guy in the stories, that when you do this, you're going to put that little guy in a pentagram, and you're going to have your holy water out, and you're going to wave it at the thing, and by God, it's going to do exactly what you say and not one thing more, but it never works out that way. So this is an attitude that some are having, this emerging alarmism about the way this is going to go. But these words, demons, doesn't capture the essence of what's happening here. I don't know if any of you are turn-of-the-century weird fiction fans, but there's this guy named H.P. Lovecraft, who's a very famous American weird fiction author. And he espoused a view which is called cosmicism. And the essence of cosmicism is cosmic indifference. So what he was saying is basically, yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there, but they're not good, they're not evil. They just don't give a shit about you even in the slightest. The same way that you don't care about an ant is the same way they're not going to care about you. And these things that we're summoning into the world now are not demons, they're not evil, but they're more like the Lovecraftian great old ones. There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want. So this transition is really, really massively important for our entire species to navigate. And going back to that thing that Sam Harris was saying, nobody is paying attention. This thing is happening in the background while people bicker about politics and what's going to be in the healthcare plan in the US. And underneath it all is this rising tsunami that, if we're not careful, is going to wipe us all out.